number 9 from section 3.7, this is our first rational expression 1. Our process is basically the same though. We want to factor as much as possible. So if we factor an x out of the top, it'll be x times x minus 1 all over x plus 3. So our three cutoff points are going to be, if you look at the top, we had that single x, so that's going to be x is equal to 0. We have the x minus 1, which is going to give us x is equal to 1. And we have the x plus 3, which is going to give us x is equal to negative 3. But this is going to be undefined. So we do want to include the undefined points as cutoff points. But I do want to make a note, so I'm going to write it in red, because it is going to be a cutoff point, but it's an undefined cutoff point. So I'm going to treat it slightly differently. So my number line, I'm going to have the negative 3. I'm going to have the 0, and I'm going to have the 1. So if we pick our test points in between this, we get a negative number, a positive number, a negative number, and a positive number. So again, you could pick something like negative 4 to plug in and get a negative number. Negative 2 you plug in, you get a positive number. 0.5 you would plug in and get a negative number. And then like 3 and you would get a positive number. So the regions that we want to include in our answer, since this is less than or equal to 0, so we want where it's negative and also where it's equal to 0. So looking at that 0 to 1, I want that 0 to 1. And I am going to include it with brackets. Now, I also want the negative infinity to negative 3. So negative infinity to negative 3. But with the negative 3, I want to make sure to put a parentheses, because I can't actually include negative 3 because it's undefined there. So even though this is less than or equal to, even though we want to include where it's 0, at negative 3, it's not 0, it's undefined, and it can never be there. So you can never put a brackets around an undefined cutoff point. So this will be our answer.